Hi students. In previous topic we discussed about the sex determination, types of sex determination. In types of sex determination, XX, XY sex determination, XX, XO, ZZ, ZW, ZZ, ZO type of sex determination. With examples we studied. Today's in our class, it is one of the concept, that is a sex determination in honeybee. So sex determination in honeybee is called it as a haplodiploidy sex determination. In haplodiploidy sex determination, actually honeybee has 32 chromosomes. It is a diploid chromosome. It is a diploid. Males have 16 chromosomes, so that it is a haploid chromosome. It is a haploid N. So that it is called it as a haplodiploidy sex determination. Haplodiploidy sex determination. So if we see the sex determination in the honeybee, the female organism have a 2n diploid 32 chromosomes and male have n 16 chromosomes, n haploid 16 chromosomes. When male and females are involved in crossing, at the time of gamete formation by the female, by the meiosis, here you have to remember the point, meiosis takes place here, that due to the meiosis, the diploid 32 chromosomes are equally distributed to the two daughter haploid cells. Those are N16, N16 containing two haploid daughter cells are formed. Those are eggs. These are from the female, no? So that this is a egg. So male is already it is an haploid. There is no meiosis in this male organism because already it is in haploid nature. So that mitosis takes place here. Due to the mitosis, N16 containing sperm from male sperm is formed. From this male and female, when this male and female gametes are fused, we get 32 containing 2n condition of the female due to the fertilization. Due to the fertilization of the male and female, 32 2n containing female formed. Due to the fertilization, female organism is formed that lay the eggs in the honeycomb. So the remaining egg of the female is formed as a male organism. The male organisms are known as drones. Male organisms are drones. These males are formed by the unfertilized egg. Here unfertilized egg is called it as the male. Males are drones. Males are called it as drones. So the fertilized eggs are called it as a female. These are differentiated as a queens and worker bee. So drones carry the nectar from the flowers and store in the honeycomb. Then these female queen lay the eggs only. Worker bee do the work. So the diploid organism in the honeybee is called it as a female. Haploid organism in the honeybee is called it as a male. It is formed by the male organism is formed by the unfertilization of the egg. So this is called it as a parthenogenesis. Here we have to remember one point here. the male produces sperms by the mitosis. They do not have the father. Without the fertilization, the male is forming here. Male is formed. So that they do not have a father. They do not have a father and they cannot have a sons. They cannot have a sons. Because from this father, son is not formed. Only the daughter is formed. But they have a grandsons. But they have a grandson. So the male is not having any father because without the fertilization it is formed. The male is not having any sons here. Any sons here. So when this male gamete is fertilized with the female gamete, it forms the female only. Because of the sons are not formed. But they have a grandfather. They have a grandfather. So this is a very, very important point here. Every son have no father, but they have no father and sons, but they have a grandsons. So this is called it as a haplodiploidy sex determination. Means haploid organism is a male, diploid organism is a female. So that it is called it as a haplodiploidy sex determination. Next concept is mutation. Mutation means it is defined as the spontaneous permanent change in the genetic makeup. Spontaneous permanent change in the genetic makeup of an individual is called it as a mutation. Due to this, change may produce an alteration in the character. Because of this change in the genetic makeup, they show some alternation in the character. So that is the mutation. The mutation is two types. These are two types of the mutation: gene mutation or point mutation. Gene mutation or point mutation. Here, for example, this is one chromosome. On this chromosome, a particular place gene is present. So here the change is confined to the gene, a particular gene only. It results due to the change in the sequence of arrangement of nucleotide in a DNA. You know that a particular nucleotide sequence of the DNA is called as a gene. Already we discussed it. A particular nucleotide sequence of the DNA is called as a gene. That gene responsible for the character. That particular nucleotide sequence, there is some change in the nucleotide sequence of the gene. Due to that, we get some abnormality. So because of that, in human beings, some disorder is seen, that is a sickle cell anemia. Instead of a round shaped RBC, we can see sickle shaped RBC. This is called as a sickle cell anemia. If the normal gene is present, we get normal RBC, but if the deficiency of the nucleotide sequence, or if the change in the nucleotide sequence of the particular gene nucleotide, then we get the sickle cell anemia. So this is one of the example for the gene mutation or point mutation. Chromosomal mutation. Actually, the chromosome number is always constant in every organism. Because of that, they show the normal character. If the chromosome number is decreases or increases in their number, then they show some abnormal character. So this is called as a chromosomal mutation. This chromosomal mutation is confined to the chromosome. It could be either due to the increase or decrease in the number of the chromosome. That is called as a chromosomal mutation. Example: Klinefelter syndrome, Down syndrome, Turner's syndrome. These are the different kinds of chromosomal mutation. Example for the chromosomal mutation. So next top concept is frame shift mutation. Deletion or insertion of the base pair of a DNA causes frame shift mutation. For example, this is one particular gene. This is entirely a particular gene. on this particular gene a nucleotide sequence is present. On this nucleotide sequence, so this nucleotide sequence is deleted, or it or any one of the nucleotide sequence is replaced in this between this nucleotide sequence. Because of that, the genetic makeup is changed. So that is called it as a frame shift mutation. Frame shift mutation. So that is about the frame shift mutation. Next, the factors which causes mutation in the organism, call it as a mutagens. The factors which causes mutations in the organism, call it as a mutagens. So these mutagens are two types: physical mutagen or chemical mutagen. Physical mutagen means UV rays example. Chemical mutagen means some chemical, harmful chemicals may show some ethyl methyl cyanide, methyl methyl cyanide, methyl ethyl cyanide, ethyl methyl cyanide, methyl ethane cyanide are the different chemical, and saccharin are different chemicals are involved. These chemicals are involved in the mutation, so that they are called it as a chemical mutations. Physical mutagen and chemical mutagen. This is about the mutations, types of mutation. Next concept is pedigree analysis. Pedigree analysis. Pedigree analysis means it is a study of a particular trait from one generation to other generation. Study of a particular trait from one generation to other generation in a family by using some principles. And finally they prepare one flow chart, one family chart to study the characters. So that is called as a pedigree analysis. Pedigree analysis. This pedigree analysis is like this. The pedigree chart they prepare. According to this pedigree chart, they study the characters of the organism, past organism and present organism and future organism. So how the characters are passing from the past to present to future, and what would be the next characters in the organism. Particularly in some disorders, this analysis is done the pedigree analysis is done by making one chart that is called as a pedigree chart. This is a pedigree. For example, this is a pedigree chart. So this is the first generation, P1 generation, parental generation. From parental generation to first generation, second generation, third generation, and also they can assume the characters of the past generation also. So by making the analysis with the help of one chart using some symbols is called it as a pedigree analysis. Pedigree analysis. So the pedigree analysis helpful in tracing the first appearance of the character in the family. Tracing the first appearance of the character in the family. For example, one abnormal disorder is seen. So where it is traced and how it is identified, how it is passed from one generation to other generation, they do the analysis with that. Nature of the character. What is the character of that, nature of that trait or character? How it is, whether it is autosome or allosomal disorder. It is a recessive disorder or a dominant disorder, as we studied recessive character and dominant character, like that. So the nature of the character is studied by this pedigree analysis. Genetic counseling and regarding the occurrence of the diseases. So if the character is studied and if it is traced, how it is passed, how it is transferred from one generation to other generation, if anything is affected in the coming generation, that can be, that the counseling can be given to the genetic counseling can be given to the people to solve this problem. So that is the importance of the help of the pedigree analysis. So in pedigree analysis, we can use some symbols. So we can use, in pedigree analysis, we can use some symbols. Using the symbol we can make one chart. So using that symbol we can make the chart. By that we can study the characters of the present generation, coming generation and coming future generation also. If the disease is traced in the present generation, how this is passed from this generation to next generation and future generation. That is traced, that is done by analysis, and finally they give the counseling. So here the symbols are used. What are those symbols? This square symbol is represent the male character. Square symbol is represent the male character. The circle symbol is represent the female character. This rhombus represent the unspecified sex. If the sex of this particular organism is not specified, either male or female. So if the square is dotted or lined, or it is fully shaded, then it is called as a male affected. So affected with the particular disorder, If it is not shaded, it is a normal male, normal human male. If the round circle is shaded or lined, then it is a male affected. It is a disorder showing female. So if the female is not shaded, normal female, it is a affected female. This is a affected female. If this symbol is shown like this, the male is joined with one line. This is called as a mating, marriage. So marriage, marry, mating or crossing. So this male is crossed with joined with two lines of female, with the female. Then it is called as a mating between the relatives. Relatives means between the close relation there is a marriage. So those that is called as a consanguineous mating between the relatives, consanguineous mating. So if this symbol is shown like this, unspecified sex in this symbol 5 is there. 5 unaffected offsprings are present. And one more symbol is there. This male is mated with or married with one female and form the offspring. So like that, this generation has a 2 female organism. One female organism is shaded, then it is called as affected. One female organism is a normal. So this symbol shows that this is a parental generation, this is a offsprings. Such a way the symbols are used in the pedigree analysis. There are 4 different types of inheritance that are considered in the pedigree chart. Those are autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, sex-linked dominant, sex-linked recessive. Here autosomal dominant means it is a defective gene, a dominant defective gene is present on the autosome. Autosomal dominant means it is a defective gene which is present on the autosome of the particular organism. Dominant defective gene is present on the autosome, so that it is called as autosomal dominant disorder or autosomal dominant disorder. Autosomal recessive disorder, if it is a particular recessive gene, recessive allele is present on the autosome, so that it is called as autosomal recessive inheritance. Autosomal recessive inheritance. So if the dominant defective gene is present on the allosomes, either it is X chromosome or Y chromosome. Sex-linked dominant means if the dominant defective gene is present on the allosome, either it is a X chromosome or Y chromosome, that is called a sex-linked dominant inheritance. Sex-linked recessive gene means if the recessive gene is present on the allosome, that is either on the X chromosome or Y chromosome, that is called as a sex-linked recessive inheritance. If the defective gene is present on the Y chromosome, for example on this allosome, if the defective gene is present on this chromosome, for example hypertrichosis gene, the gene which is responsible for the hypertrichosis in the male, that is present on the Y chromosome, then it is called, this gene is called it as a Hollandrick gene. Hollandrick gene. If the defective gene is, recessive gene is present on the X chromosome, this is called it as a X-linked recessive X-linked recessive inheritance. If the recessive gene is present on the Y chromosome, Y-linked recessive or something. So X-linked dominant. X-linked dominant means if the dominant gene is present on the X chromosome, X-linked dominant. If the recessive gene is present on the X chromosome, X-linked recessive inheritance. Such a way, 4 types of inheritance are seen because of the defective dominant gene or recessive dominant gene on the autosome or sex-linked on the autosome or allosome. If the dominant or recessive gene is present on the autosome, those are called as autosomal dominant or autosomal recessive. If the dominant or recessive gene is present on the allosome, either X or Y, those are called as X-linked dominant or X-linked recessive disorder. If the defective gene is present on the Y chromosome, the gene is called as a Hollandrick gene. Hollandrick gene. Regarding this pedigree analysis and pedigree, we will get some pedigree problems in the objectives in the NEET examination. So we have some tips to identify that particular pedigree chart is given for meant for either a dominant or recessive, either autosomal or recessive disorder. Here we can see some tips to study the pedigree analysis, pedigree chart. So that is so first question we need to frame the by seeing the one pedigree chart, like this pedigree chart. First of all, by seeing that, we come to know we need to raise some questions. First question, all affected child have at least one affected parent. All affected child have at least one affected parent. For example, in this pedigree chart, all affected child have at least one affected parent. At least one affected parent. So here there is one affected child. This is the first generation. This is the parental generation. This is the first generation, and this is the second generation. A affected child have affected father or affected mother. At least one affected parent. Then, if this chart represent, if it is a yes, the chart is dominant, the disorder is a dominant disorder. If no, trait is a recessive trait, recessive disorder. For example, here in this generation, affected child have no parent, affected parent. Affected child have no affected parent, so that this disease is a recessive disease. Recessive disease. If affected child have any one of the parent is affected, yes, then it is a dominant. So this is one of the question. By seeing the pedigree chart, first of all, we come to know whether it is a dominant or a recessive by this trick. So next, if it is a dominant, if it is every affected child has affected parent, any one of the affected parent, if it is yes, it is a dominant. If it is dominant, all affected male have affected mother. If the affected male have affected mother and affected daughters, affected male have affected mother. So this affected male has his mother is a affected mother. So if this male have affected daughter. If it is S, this statement is S, then we can definitely say it is X-linked dominant. If the affected male have no affected mother and affected daughter, then definitely we can say autosomal dominant. Autosomal dominant. It is one of the trick to identify the character. See this character in this flow chart. So affected male have affected mother. Here this is the parent, this is a child. The affected male has affected mother. Affected mother. Or else we can see here, affected male has a, affected female has a, affected male has affected mother. But no, in this case, affected male has affected mother, but no affected daughter. Affected daughter. So that it is a, definitely we can say it is a dominant. It is a dominant. So like that we can solve the problem. So first question this one, second question you have to raise in the chart like this, and whether it is a yes. If this statement satisfy that, then the pedigree is a X-linked dominant. If the statement is not satisfied in this pedigree, then it is a X-linked dominant. X-linked dominant. Coming to the next, already we know that unaffected child have at least affected parent. Already we discussed about this. If the affected child has no any one of the parent is not affected, then definitely we can say it is a recessive trait. Recessive trait. This is over. So second question we have to raise. If the affected female have affected father, affected female have affected father and affected son, affected female has affected father and affected son. If it is a yes, definitely we can say X-linked recessive disorder. X-linked recessive disorder. Already it is a recessive disorder. If this statement is satisfied in this pedigree chart, we can say it is a X-linked recessive disorder. If it is not, if this character is not satisfied in this pedigree, then it is called as an autosomal recessive disorder. Autosomal recessive disorder. By this fine small trick, we can easily find the character of the pedigree. Finally, we can answer the pedigree charts. So, like this simple trick we can use, we can study the pedigree, analysis of the pedigree chart. So this is one of the pedigree. We don't know whether it is what autosomal recessive or autosomal dominant, X-linked recessive or X-linked dominant. First of all, we need to see this. According to this, affected child have a unaffected offspring. That means no affected parent here. No affected parent here. Affected child has no affected offspring, affected parent, no affected parent. First statement, no. So that it is a recessive trait. Definitely we can say this is a recessive trait. Recessive trait. So second statement, all the affected females, for example, all the affected females have the affected father and affected son. All the females have the affected father, right? Only this is the offspring is affected, which has a father is affected. Affected son is not there. Affected son is there. Unaffected son is there. So that it is a autosomal. Then we can say this is a autosomal. Then we can say this is a autosomal recessive disorder. Autosomal recessive disorder. Few more some trick points we have to remember to find the pedigree analysis, whether it is autosomal dominant recessive or X-linked recessive dominant. If it is an autosomal dominant trait, definitely these points we have to remember here. Both male and female are affected with the equal frequency. In the pedigree, male and females are affected with equal frequency. Both are equal in the frequency. Then we can say autosomal dominant. This is also one of the point for the identifying autosomal dominant. Affected children will have at least one affected parent. Already we discussed. Affected children will have at least one affected parent. Then it is a dominant. So autosomal. Heterozygotes are affected because of the affected dominant gene. Heterozygous also, in heterozygous condition also dominant. Homozygous also dominant. Recessive recessive alleles are not showing the character here. So heterozygous are affected. Two affected parents can produce an affected child. Two unaffected parents can produce affected child. If these two affected parents are crossed, we get this generation. This generation is not showing character here because it is a recessive disorder, but this is a dominant disorder. Dominant disorder is not seen in this offspring because the affected offsprings, two affected offsprings are crossed. We may see unaffected offsprings also. This is a very, very important character for this. Two unaffected parents will not have unaffected parents will not have affected children because it is a dominant. No. For example, this is unaffected. This is a recessive allele. This is also a recessive allele. If two unaffected parents are crossed, we can't get affected children. So this is also one of the trick for the identification. No skip generation. Skip generation means what? In first generation, parental generation, disease was there. In next generation, no disease. Next generation, there is a disease. Like that, skipping of generation, skipping of disease in the family. That is not there. So that no skip generation, definitely we can say autosomal dominant. Example for the autosomal dominant in MCQ, they'll give direct question. Identify the autosomal disorder. Huntington disease, myotonic dystrophy, achondroplasia, Marfan syndrome, hypercholesterolemia, polydactyly. These are the autosomal dominant disorders examples. So next, autosomal recessive disorder characters. By this trick, we can identify the autosomal recessive disorder. Both the males and females affected with equal frequency. Here also, both the male and females are affected with equal frequency. Most affected children have unaffected parents. Recessive character. This is a recessive character. Most affected children have unaffected parents. So that it is definitely recessive. Already we discussed it. Heterozygotes have unaffected phenotypes. Heterozygote have unaffected phenotypes. So heterozygous allele, this is AA is a heterozygous allele. In this, the recessive allele cannot show the dominant over this one. So that this disorder is not shown because this disorder mainly on the recessive character. In heterozygotic condition, this recessive allele cannot show the disorder. So that is the meaning of this point. Two affected parents will always have the affected children. Two affected parents will have the affected children. These are the affected parents. When we cross them, we get affected children. Definitely we can get affected children. This is also one of the point to identify the autosomal recessive. Affected individual with homozygous unaffected mates will have unaffected children. Affected individual with homozygous unaffected mates will have unaffected children. Affected individual, for example, this is affected individual is crossed with homozygous unaffected. This is a homozygous unaffected. Then we see unaffected children. So this is also one of the point. Here we can't see the disorder in this. If it is a carrier, we can see this. Close relative who produce more likely to have the affected children. Close relatives who reproduce more likely to have the affected children. So these are the points to be remembered to identify study the pedigree. So example for the autosomal recessive disorder: Tay-Sachs disease, albinism, no pigment in the body, PKU, phenylketonuria. Next topic, sickle cell anemia, cystic fibrosis. In next topic, next concept, we are going to study about the PKU and sickle cell anemia. These are the example for the autosomal recessive disorders. So next, X-linked recessive disorder. X-linked recessive disorder. In this X-linked recessive disorder, more males than females are affected. In this chart, we can see more males than the females. If this condition is seen, we can definitely say it is a X-linked recessive disorder. An affected son can have the parents who have the normal phenotype. An affected son can have the parents who have the normal phenotype. Normal phenotype means normal. That is, unaffected parents have a affected offspring. That is a recessive character. For a female to have the characteristic, her father must have it. For female to have the character, her father must have it. For example, for female it is a disorder. Her father must have the disorder. So that is about that. Her father must also have it. Her mother must it and be carrier. Mother must it carrier. Carrier means in heterozygous condition, recessive allele cannot heterozygous condition, recessive allele cannot show the character. In heterozygous condition, recessive allele cannot express. So if the recessive gene is present, this female is called it as a carrier. So the characteristic often skips generation from grandfather to grandson. Skip generation. So one generation have the disease, the other generation no disease. Like that, skipping generation of the skip generation is seen in this X-linked recessive. So this is about the X-linked recessive. X-linked dominant. The male with the trait passes it on to all his daughters or none of his sons. So male with the trait passes to all his daughters, none of his sons. So he cannot pass the male cannot pass the character to the sons, but his daughters get the disorders. A female with the trait may pass it on to both her daughter and sons. Female can pass the character from both the father and daughter and sons. Every affected person have at least one parent with trait. Then it is a dominant. There are more affected females than the males. This is one of the trick. So example for the X-linked dominant inheritance: vitamin D resistant rickets, incontinentia pigment. So this is about this today's topic. Thank you.